In The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, we know Goddess Hylia plays an important and helpful role to aid Link in taking out Calamity Ganon. In the game, Link can exchange 4 Spirit Orbs to a Goddess statue to receive either a new Heart Piece or Stamina Vessel. He can find these Spirit Orbs within shrines. After completing one, the Sheikah Monk at the end of the shrine will give Link 1 Spirit Orb for completing the shrine, and then they fade into nothing. Well, what have I told you? There could be very dark reasons behind this, along with a backstory to how these monks were actually selected and forced to be sacrifices for Goddess Hylia. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain my theory on why I believe Goddess Hylia is stealing the souls of innocent Sheikah. Okay, I know what you're thinking after reading the title. What? No. She's the goddess that protects the land. She isn't stealing anyone's souls. Who's this guy think he is? Well, let me explain a little before jumping right into this one. Think back to the moment when Impa tells you about what happened 10,000 years ago. The calamity was inevitable and was going to happen no matter what. This does indeed mean Goddess Hylia knows all of what is to come. She knows what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, as she is the goddess. Now, this is the full tapestry that you're shown by Impa. It depicts the main stuff very clearly. The divine beasts, the guardians, the champions, and the hero and princess sealing away the calamity. Pretty much everything important. However, if we look closely to the bottom right corner, we see this. A group heading towards Hylia. Now, there has been a few theories to what this particular section of the tapestry means, as it's not really explained by Impa. This leaves it down to theorizing. Some people have theorized that this is showing the Sheikah that were exiled, or the Sheikah that stayed strong to the royal family, and various other things. However, I have a much different theory. From what I see, it looks like their arms are outstretched, almost as if they are handing over something to Hylia. Keep in mind, this is 10,000 years ago. Hylia is aware of what's going to happen, and we also know the shrines were built roughly around the same time frame, 10,000 years ago. So what I believe this section of the tapestry to be showing is members of the Sheikah, specifically the 120 monks selected, handing over their soul to the goddess as a sacrifice to help aid Link in the future, when the inevitable attack of Calamity Ganon takes place. In other words, Hylia is preparing for this attack long before it is actually going to happen. Now, in the intro, I used the wording forced to be sacrifices for Goddess Hylia, and I meant this. I believe that those 120 monks that Link finds down in the shrines were actually forced to go down there, and have been down there for some time. The shrines were created 10,000 years ago, and whilst they may have different purposes, I believe the true intention of creating these shrines was partially Hylia's doing. Hylia knew the calamity would strike, and she knew it would be bad. Therefore, she had to do something to help aid Link in taking out Calamity Ganon after he recovers. So I believe Hylia pre-selected 120 individual Sheikah monks, perhaps before they were even born, to be a sacrifice for her, so she could give Link the necessary aid for taking out the calamity. Waiting 10,000 years deep below the surface in a shrine just for some malice-coated pig to awaken isn't exactly a short period of time for those monks. So this is where the stealing the souls part really begins. I believe that what Hylia did in order to send those 120 monks down there for so long and actually survive is she took away their souls. However, she replaced them with Spirit Orbs, a magical orb with very powerful abilities. Now, I'll explain why Hylia 100% had to replace the souls for Spirit Orbs later in the video. For now, we will carry on with this and work through the video like a timeline. And no, not the confusing Zelda timeline itself. I don't want to go there. Anyway, the reasons I believe she gave them these Spirit Orbs is to ensure that they would actually be alive upon Link's arrival. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but 10,000 years is a very long time. Did you ever notice the monks are a little bit old? Just a little. Well, I believe this is because the monks Hylia picked out were not actually sacrificed until they were at their wisest and eldest stage of life. In other words, near to their death. But still wise, and seen life, so they were chosen to be sacrificed. Yes, it's a little cruel that Hylia picked them out and didn't give them a choice at all, but it would eventually be one of the most important decisions she ever made and would go on to help save the Kingdom of Hyrule. So let's now jump ahead in time to present day Hyrule. As we know, right after Link wakes up, he obtains the Sheikah Slate, his key to getting inside the shrines. If you've played and completed all the shrines in the game, you will know there is 120 of them scattered across the land. Now, remember when I said the monks were sacrifices to help aid Link? Well, this is exactly how they're aiding Link through his journey to taking out Calamity Ganon. They give Link access to the Spirit Orbs through completing their designated shrine, and the shrines themselves help Link by teaching him how to use his rune abilities and face enemies. Now yes, I know the shrines aren't 100% necessary to the player, but in the main story, Link would complete them. Once Link completes a shrine, he's given a Spirit Orb, and the monk fades into nothing. I believe that fading into nothing is the monk passing away. So, whilst it was cruel of Hylia to sacrifice them without choice, they did end up playing a role in aiding Link to take out Calamity Ganon. Remember when I said... Now, I'll explain why Hylia 100% had to replace the souls for Spirit Orbs later in the video. Well, that's now. As we know, Link can go to a Hylia statue in the game to exchange 4 Spirit Orbs for a Heart Piece or Stamina Vessel. Well, I believe when Link hands over 4 Spirit Orbs for whichever reward he desires, let's say a Heart Piece for the sake of the video, that Heart Piece he receives has been formed or created with the souls of those monks that were sacrificed all those years ago. This would explain why Hylia replaced the souls for a Spirit Orb. 1, so the monks would survive over the 10,000 years, and 2, so she could aid Link by giving him heart pieces or stamina vessels that was once the souls of innocent, unaware Sheikah monks, which I believe would be possible due to her sheer amount of power, but hey, that's just a theory. Well, thanks for watching. A game theory! Ha, you Game Theory fans thought I wouldn't do it. Well, I did. Thanks for watching. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. I really hope you enjoyed this theory. I'm sure you've all noticed a lot of my theory videos do sway towards a lot of what ifs and filling in unexplained gaps. But that's what I love doing, and I find it really interesting to explore these topics. Keep in mind that this is just a theory of a small part of the game, but I hope you found it interesting and enjoyed. If you have any thoughts related to this theory, be sure to leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to join our Discord server through the link below. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.